anything you put your mind to, you accomplish. And you never back down, cause you deserve it. The light shines in you, cause you're the realest. And you walk by faith, you're optimistic. You inspire me, girl, you inspire me. You're so inspirational. Inspirational. So, how are you? How have you been doing?
I am doing good. What about you?
I'm good. So, I just wanted to know about your travels first, like, to Africa. What was that about? And what did you experience?
Well, we our initial trip was to Tanzania, and we went over there to check in with a group. There's a group here in Birmingham that's called Hello Tana.
Okay.
And Hello is an acronym for helping to enrich the lives of those who live in Alabama and Tanzania.
Okay.
Because there's some people who used to live here in Birmingham area who now reside in Tanzania. And
Hmm.
so how can we network, from where we are with the things that are we bring to the table and also the things that are needed there in the community in
Okay.
Tanzania.
Hmm.
So that was really cool. My husband and I traveled there. There was another couple from Birmingham area who met us there.
Okay.
We worked with a local school, um, and we did an exploratory day with them on education and art
Okay.
to understand what their needs are and how we can be of service to them.
Okay.
So what came out of that was one, that there is a need because the public education is funded by the government there,
Okay.
and the school that where we were, even though they were on Christmas holiday, there were about 40 kids who were able to be there for the experience. They
Okay.
typically serve 900 children. And we did workshops with them, art projects with them, drum and dance musical, just teaching moments. And we also learned from them things that they wanted to share, things that they were more curious about, so that going forward, we would be actually delivering what they actually need
Okay.
versus us articulating what we think that they need.
Okay.
And that was really good. And there's a lady, the other part of that visit was a visit with Mama C, who real name is Charlotte Hill O'Neill.
Okay.
And her husband were the original founders of the Black Panther Party in Kansas City.
Okay.
And they fled the United States in the 1970s, late 60s and 70s, when the police officials and district attorneys in Kansas City told Pete O'Neill, and you can look him up on YouTube. There's numerous videos about him and her. But they told him, if once we arrest you, you will never know. And charge against him for carrying a rifle,
Okay.
which was legal.
Okay.
But they were determined to deflect and deter, the Black Panthers Party from supporting the African American community. With what they ended up doing was all of the things that the Black Panther Party wanted to implement in our communities, Charlotte and Pete implemented there in Tanzania,
Okay.
serving their communities there and educating over 30 youths, not just in grade school education, but higher education,
Okay.
supporting them to get jobs,
Okay.
um, feeding those who are hungry,
Okay.
housing those who need housing.
Mhm.
These are the things that our communities still struggle with.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it was really good to go to their compound in Tanzania to meet him. I had met Mama C here in Birmingham. She's comes here for the Healing Community Tour, which
Okay.
happens sometimes in August here.
Okay.
But I'd never met Pete. And it was an honor to meet him. You know,
Okay.
just amazing person who's very, very peaceful, very clear about his mission and purpose in life and serving others. So it was really inspirational.
That is. And how long
Yeah.
have you known them?
I met Mama C about 3 years ago now,
Okay.
and I had never met Pete,
Okay.
and because he's been living as an asylum seeker, you know, from America since the beginning, because if he comes back, those charges still exist,
Okay. Yeah,
which
that's
is,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
I understand.
But once we left Tanzania, we also did some exploring around the what do you call it? It's like the wild game experience, you know, where you go and see the safari. That's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Okay.
So that was really awesome. And we left there and went to Zanzibar, which is an island
Hmm.
off the coast of Tanzania. And that was really beautiful. There are, of course, the indigenous Africans who live there, but the island has also been heavily populated by the Omani people who live in the northern region of the continent, which is south and west, no, south and east of Dubai.
Okay.
So there it was interesting to see the cultures merging
Hmm.
because they have it is still run by the Africans under Tanzanian's flag,
Hmm.
but the Omani people would like to be in charge, but they won't.
Okay.
The Africans are determined to, you know, we're all kind of waking up to this realization about what oppression really looks like.
Yeah.
It comes in many forms. So
Okay.
that was really beautiful in Tanzania and Zanzibar. And from there, my husband came back to the States and I traveled on to Guinea, Conakry, West Africa, where I have been training as a dancer now for, wow, I've been training there for the last like 12 years or something.
Okay.
So I went home. I consider that my home.
Okay.
I went home to my master teacher's house
Okay.
and got to see his family. I hadn't been there in 9 years. That was a long time to be
Yeah.
away. But it was wonderful. It was wonderful. The training was hard. Oh my God. You know, when you get older, it shows. Yeah, but it was a blessing to go back and to see all of these familiar faces that I
Yeah.
have, you know, known. And the beautiful thing about social media is that it keeps you tapped into their lives. So that has been good. And then I was there and then I left there and went to Senegal,
Okay.
which was my first time in Senegal.
Okay.
And that was really beautiful. It's on the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
And that's where I went and saw the Door of No Return, which was one of the largest shipping ports for the enslaved Africans. Yeah, it was really moving. It was very inspirational, though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't feel, and you know, I'm in this. So when you arrive at the island, it's called Goree Island,
Mm-hmm.
Goree. So when you arrive, they have in this on the island. One area that is like it's been preserved because it was one of the homes that housed the Africans prior to them being sold
Okay.
and shipped.
Okay.
So in this space, you see the living quarters, there's the stairs, and then they have these chambers underneath. And it's two-story, and all of the chambers are really thick concrete walls, and they're really small spaces. And so one of the things that they talked about, the historian who gave me my tour, was that so they would put, like 50 men in this one space that would be the size of a small bedroom.
Wow.
And they would purposefully make it small, meaning height
Mm-hmm.
and close quarters, because if you could not survive in that space, then they didn't want you for the journey.
Okay.
And then the next level would be even a smaller space.
Wow.
And then the next level would be an even smaller space, especially for those who were not willing to just comply.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of the last two spaces that was seen that I remember on the tour was you go into this room and there is the door. And above the door is the point of no return, where people would walk out to a uh, a bridge that was wooden across out the Atlantic Ocean to the ship that was waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, I remember really just taking my time and reflecting and honoring my ancestors
Okay.
and remembering that someone sacrificed dearly for me to be here
Yeah.
in this country and to have the pleasures that I have in my life as
Mm-hmm.
a woman of color.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful. There were people who were in other tour groups who were crying, mainly white people, who were crying. And, there's the internalized guilt
Mm-hmm.
from that that people carry, but I didn't feel sad. I really felt inspired because I feel that I am doing the work.
Yeah.
If we're not doing the work, our subconscious lets us know,
Yeah.
whether you want to own it or not.
Yeah.
That's different. But I felt really inspired by it.
Okay. And
Yeah, and
so,
then my time in Senegal was great, and I got to experience. It's a very different culture. Every
okay.
country was very, very different.
Yeah.
But Senegal's culture was really different. Their language, their food, even their traditions are like everyone in Senegal is really into fitness.
Okay.
Every day at 5 o'clock, it's like life stops and everybody goes to work out.
Okay. 5 a.m. or 5 p.m.
PM.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. There are groups that you go and you could, like, I stayed near the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the beach, there would be a group of kids doing some sort of physical exercise. There'd be a group of men, and then there'd be this other group of men who were like real athletic, and there'd be a group of men who were playing nothing but soccer, very, and not just playing soccer, but practicing techniques and
Okay.
skills. I really admired that
Okay. Yeah. Because they're
because
not
you don't
somewhere
see that.
just, yeah, I was about to say just not on video games or like, computers and just,
No,
yeah,
no.
that's
And then,
good.
yeah, and their sense of, you could sense the peace that they live with,
Yeah.
like all around you. I felt like, I felt when I was a kid growing up in Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
in the community I grew up in Alabaster,
Mm-hmm.
where I was raised by all of these people watching over me.
Okay. It's amazing.
That's how I felt in Senegal.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
So
it was,
how
go
often
ahead.
are you traveling like over there in those areas?
Well, this, like I said, this is the first time I've been back in
Okay.
Africa,
Okay.
and we're slated to go back this year at the end of the year because my husband developed a aquaponics system that will help with the food source of especially protein.
Okay.
Um, and so he's supposed to go back and implement that at the school
Okay.
where where we did the work. So we'll see.
Okay.
You know, a lot of those things like that are great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality is what's the true cost?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so once you identify the cost, then you have to get the funding to like
Wow.
make that happen. So it'll be it'll be good for him. It'll be good for the whole group if we are able to go back and like really implement
Mm-hmm.
what we set in motion.
Yeah. You will. It's gonna
Yeah.
work. So you want to talk about the program, Drum the program, and how that got started and what it's
Sure.
for? Okay.
So Drum the Program is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and DRUM stands for Drum Rhythms Unification Movement.
Okay.
It's an acronym. When I moved to Alabama back home, I was gone for 30 years and I moved back in 2018,
Okay.
at which time in 2019, I established the nonprofit.
Okay.
But the work that I do, I began that work in the communities in Austin, Texas, where I was living. However, the thing about Austin, it is that it's been displaced and lots of gentrification. So the
Okay.
communities of color that made it, you know, really cool and nice to live in Austin because of the diversity were no longer there. So I
Wow.
found it really difficult to implement my work around positive identity development by tapping into your cultural heritage
Okay.
because there aren't any Black people that live there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So Drum took on a different format in Austin. It was more about a identifying where those cultural communities are in Austin that are diverse. Who are they? Who are the gatekeepers? And how are they still sharing their culture with others?
Okay.
That event is called Congo Square. And I did Congo Square for, it was funded by the city of Austin for 4 years.
Okay.
Um, it was a really wonderful festival about music and dance and food, and you could find cultures from Colombia, Africa, other countries in all parts of Africa would come perform, cultures from Brazil, Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was really wonderful. But when I got here to Alabama, I felt that, you know, God brought me home for a reason. And that reason was really about what have I learned on this 30-year journey?
Mm-hmm.
And how can I serve others with what I've learned?
Okay.
Because I really grew in my life experiences
Mm-hmm.
while I was gone away from Alabama.
Yeah.
So then I developed the nonprofit, and we provide for youth. We serve kids ages 8 to 16,
Okay.
and we provide after school programming and summer camps. And all of those experiences are free.
Okay.
We I seek funding from, and I'm funded by the Alabama State Council on the Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts, um, to do the programming that we provide.
Okay.
Um, and it's been a really wonderful experience. But you know, it would be great if we could do what we do here, especially where I live in Montevallo,
Mm.
on a regular basis because there's such a need.
Yeah.
However, we're not there yet, especially with those who hold the power to see the value in what we do.
Hmm.
But that never deterred me.
Yeah.
So I do my work in Jefferson County.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day here in Shelby County, I will be able to have what we do implemented in the school system, like we are woven into the school system there at Minor Community School in Jefferson
Hmm.
County.
Okay.
And that's funded by the Jefferson County Board of Education.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be having our final end of the season performance on May 3rd
Okay. Where is it gonna be?
at Minor Community School in their, it's not the gym. Is it the gym? I think it's their gym,
Okay.
where all of the kids all of the school will be there.
Okay.
But we only worked with third graders, fourth graders, and fifth graders. And these were the kids who were enrolled in the music
Hmm.
and art classes.
Okay.
And they were also identified as kids who had like disruptive behaviors,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So the beauty of what we've done is we don't have any of those problems when we're doing our work.
Yeah.
The kids are like fully on board.
They're
And
engaged with something good. Yeah.
yeah, so I found it very interesting that the teachers, kind of prefaced, well, these kids have these type of labels, right?
Hmm.
And then when they come in, now it's not to say that we don't have issues with some of the kids being disruptive, but the ones that they really said that we would have a hard time with,
I have a hard time. Yeah.
no, we don't have a hard time with them.
Yeah.
And I think that it really speaks to the
Teaching.
curriculum
Yeah.
side,
Hmm.
the structure, and the fact that we're doing something that they've never experienced before.
Yeah.
And we have, when we arrive with like 40 drums.
Okay.
Okay. And so every kid has a drum.
Okay.
And we have a guest teaching artist with the organization right now. His name is Abubakar Sila. He's from Guinea, West Africa,
Hmm.
and he's an amazing teacher.
Okay.
He's one of those people that he gets kids and he loves teaching kids.
Okay.
So when he's teaching, they're all like wanting to
Attentive.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. And our summer camp is coming up. It's called the Juneteenth Youth Summer Camp.
Okay. How
And
long does that last?
it's for 1 week,
Okay.
and it's here at the Drum the Program Dance Barn in Montevallo.
Okay.
I live here on my property.
Okay.
Um, it's amazing experience. We register 25 kids, and most of those kids are from Jefferson County and Birmingham.
Okay. That's
So
good.
we network and collaborate with other organizations, especially like for transportation.
Mhm.
And once they arrive here, it's an all-day camp. They don't
Mhm.
spend the night.
Okay.
However, they're here all day from 8:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
And we provide them with 5 to 6 art classes a day,
Okay.
and it's performance-based. So everything that they learn during the week is presented on the stage here in Montevallo on that Saturday, when we honor those kids for, they all love to be on stage.
Mhm.
So we bring them on stage and we let them like shine, and we bring their parents in, and Everything is for free, so there's no barrier to cost for people and parents to engage.
Amazing.
Um, but we do network with all of the teachers that come here and teach their classes are top of their field.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and my job as the visionary is to just facilitate the process.
Mhm.
I don't do the teaching because it's too much to try to like juggle so many
Yeah.
things.
Hmm.
So I have a West African dance teacher who comes in from Denison University in Ohio. Abubakar Sila, who is from Guinea, he's here as the drum teacher. Elijah Williams is the capoeira teacher from Huntsville.
Okay.
We also have this year Genesis Franklin, who will be doing our visual arts classes with our youth.
Okay.
And we have a team of people who are going to be doing all of the like life skill classes that I call them. We do gardening, fishing, and aquaponics with the kids.
Okay.
So we teach them how to live off the land.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
all the
important.
kids learn what is it? How do you plant a seed? How do you take care of that? How do you get that fruit, that seed to fruition to provide
Mm.
you with food?
Yeah.
And then we have another gentleman. We have a lake here on our property. It's 8 acres and the lake is big. And so he teaches fishing.
Hmm.
So all of the kids will learn how to fish. And then we have another gentleman who'll be working with the kids on the aquaponics and how to raise chickens because we have
Yeah.
chickens out here.
That's
So
good.
yeah, it's a life
Yeah.
experience being in this camp.
Yeah. They have so many
Yeah,
activities. It's so broad. That's good.
yeah, yeah, I know. But when I grew up as a kid, my dad raised everything that we ate.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I don't know any other way than to work in the earth like that. I mean,
Yeah.
my my grandfather, my great grandfather, my grandfather and my great grandfather going back were all sharecroppers. So if as people of color, we always raised our own food.
Yeah.
It's an innate skill set that we have.
Yeah.
We just have to tap back into it
Yeah.
by showing the direction to these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
when the kids go on stage at the Juneteenth Jamboree, they present everything that they learned
Yeah.
to their parents. And last year, I sat in the audience watching the performance, and I was so moved by what what was before me.
Hmm.
It was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I
And
see we have 10 minutes, a little bit less than 10 minutes.
yeah, we do.
But we can, continue this conversation if you want. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. I have a little bit of time.
Okay.
So I'm ready to listen to you. Any questions, more questions you may have?
I was going to ask, so after the program, how is it for the children who need the program and just not being able to give that to them once it's over? Like how is it being able to tell them well, you have to wait till this next time. Like when is it the next time that's coming up where they can get back in the program?
Yeah, what we do is periodically throughout the year, we will have classes in Birmingham
Yeah.
over near Tuscaloosa Avenue at the Crescent Cultural Center
Okay.
because they're also a nonprofit. And so, in collaborating with them, we're able to go in and provide classes, and those kids get to come back into Drum the Program's experience and
Mm.
continue to engage with us, learn from us, and fostering that positive identity development.
Okay. And so do you get like messages from parents saying like, I'm just so excited that my child was able to be in this program because it changed the child? Like what kind of messages and feedback do you get?
Wow, some of it is really just beautiful. One lady, I can see the difference in my son from being enrolled in your program. My kid is so happy to be a part of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're spending less time on handheld devices such
Yeah.
as their phone because we've introduced them to art. We turn on something inside of their minds about their own artistic ability.
Yeah.
So there's been this desire to want to learn more,
Yeah.
especially the arts. So that's beautiful to witness too.
Mm-hmm. And so those teachers that kind of said that the ones that were kind of like a problem, like do they ever get to see, okay, well, this changed them and like what is their feedback? How do they respond to it?
So our next program on May the 3rd, I will be giving those teachers an opportunity to speak to that.
Okay.
This is our first semester, our first year being inside of a curriculum in a school
Mm-hmm.
where at that school, we're not an after school program. We are part of the curriculum.
Okay.
So this is our first time. So we will be getting that feedback,
Okay.
from them. But when I look at the faces on the pictures and the videos that I've captured,
Mm-hmm.
they're priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And so if someone wanted to join the program, like what is the information that they need to either fill out or is there a website, phone number that they should call? How do they contact you to join the program?
So they can definitely follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram
Mm.
at Drum the Program.
Okay.
And then because there they will see events that we have coming up.
Okay.
And once you see those events, you can like them or check out the Eventbrite to make sure you register.
Mm.
The other part of that is our website is drumtheprogram.org.
Okay.
And there we are actually getting ready. Our new website is in the process of transferring. It started the transfer this week.
Mm-hmm.
So the new website should be up and operational by Saturday.
Okay.
And there they can fill out a contact form for more information. They can learn about all of the programs that we are offering.
Mm.
And what we do, we're able to also work with other communities.
Mm.
If a community of people want us to come in and provide a service
Yeah.
to their community,
Mm-hmm.
can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we
And
don't have to always. That's the beauty about this art form is we don't have to be. We're mobile,
mm-hmm.
but we can also go to you.
Okay.
You don't have to necessarily always come to us.
Okay. And so if somebody wanted to send donations, where would they send those?
Yeah, we have a donate button on the website. It's a
Okay.
secure donate button. It's connected to our PayPal.
Okay.
And they can also donate to us via Facebook because we are recognized as a nonprofit organization through Facebook.
Okay.
And so that process also is a secure donation. Once they make the contribution, it automatically is sent to us.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's DRUM, D-R-U-M, DRUM, the program.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching Your Inspirational. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, all right? See you next time.